Oh, hello everyone, it's Susie Crypto Granny here. The date's the 6th of June 2023 and the time in Europe is 15:57 p.m. Another beautiful day in Amsterdam today. The weather is getting so nice here. It makes me very, very happy. Hope you're all looking after yourself and looking after your beautiful animals in this world. Animals give us such joy. I just love them. So let's talk about the cryptocurrency market. A lot going on. It's all about the SEC and Gary Gensler. The press today is scathing about Gary Gensler. I've got to tell you that, absolutely scathing. As you know, they sued Binance yesterday. They're also suing Coinbase and many other cryptocurrency firms and coins and tokens. And they've also announced that 61 cryptocurrency coins and tokens are securities. And honestly, this is just mind-blowing. As Changpeng Sao said, the whole SEC regime and the banking regime is against crypto. It's very, very clear. And it's almost like a massive conspiracy. I've got to tell you that. Let me just have a glass of water, won't be a sec. I need my water. That's better. So let's talk about Livecoin market cap and then Livecoin watch, and then let's talk about all the stories out there. And I've got to tell you, they are absolutely scathing today. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Mr. Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, survives this. I've got to tell you that, because seriously, this is like regulating the internet in 1993. I've got to tell you that. And you wonder whether it's a political thing as well, because the banks are nowhere near ready to bring on blockchain in their operations, right? And you got to wonder here, what's going on. Seriously, there's something going on in the US, particularly when Europe and Asia and the Middle East are all pro cryptocurrency technology, and the technology is mind-blowing and incredible. And so now they're witch hunting Binance, they're witch hunting Coinbase, they're witch hunting Kraken, every exchange out there. And I got to tell you, corporations in the US are going to move out for sure, because, anything to do with cryptocurrency technology, they are just coming down so ridiculously hard. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest. So let's go and look at Livecoin Watch today. Market cap is lower, 1.105 trillion. Clearly a big, reasonable sell-off because of this SEC story. Volumes at 39.648 bill, up slightly from about 22 bill yesterday. Liquidity is 4.370 bill, lower because people are selling and taking money. And Bitcoin dominance is 45.21%. I'm just having a cup of coffee, won't be said. So we've got, I love my coffee, I have to say. We've got Bitcoin at 25,790, Ethereum at 1821, US Tether 1. Binance has been hit. It was around $301 yesterday. It's now at 276. One of my favorite coins, I've got to tell you that. It's a Meganaut, but it certainly doesn't reflect the price, the value of what it should be. USDC, $1. XRP at 0.508, ADA at 0.34, OakB 44.21, Dodge 0.067, Solana 1977, and Matic at 0.806850. Now, the SEC did come out with 61 coins and tokens that they regard as securities, and some of those I've mentioned, they are calling as securities, and that's why they're down anything from 7% to about 8%, and that includes Solana, Matic, and a few others, which we'll go through. Okay, so let's get on with these stories. It is absolutely scathing today. I've got to tell you that. Just before I mentioned that, the RBA, Reserve Bank of Australia, raised rates again for the 13th time, 25 basis points, and kept the door open for further policy tightening. And I do believe they're going to cause an absolute recession/depression in the US, in Australia, I should say. And seriously, the property market's already coming down in Australia quite quickly, so it doesn't surprise me that's happening. It was a surprise, the Reserve Bank of Australia raising interest rates again, 25 basis points. And seriously, this whole world situation with raising interest rates is going to kill, investment markets in terms of property and everything else, right? So let's get on with the Gensler thing. Stories out there, SEC Gensler is dedicated to bringing the crypto market down, right? With no thought for the industry for retail investors, Gary Gensler has bombed the crypto market again by suing Binance. They also came out and also suing Coinbase, right? If there was this article is very, very interesting. It was published an hour ago. If there was any slightest doubt over SEC Chairman Gensler's strategy towards the crypto sector, there can now be none. The SEC, with its mandate to protect retail investors, has dropped another bomb on crypto and sent the market into a tailspin. This article is very good, actually. Let's be clear. If Binance had done everything that warrants sanctions and penalties, there would be a due process for the SEC to make its case. But the SEC is certainly looking at the entire crypto industry in the US and using the same brush to bring every industry, every corporation or exchange in the US which is involved with cryptocurrency down to their knees, right? And honestly, Gensler is not protecting the retail investor. The market had, market cap came off about at least, 200 billion or more, right? It would appear that Gensler's ultimate goal is to force all retail investors out of the crypto market and back to embrace the banking system. He is doing this by choking off all on and off ramps to the exchanges via fiat and by entangling all the exchanges in costly litigation, which could go on for years and years and years. And also, anyone that's a crypto lawyer would be making a fortune in the US at the moment with all this litigation going on. It's just unbelievable, right? The SEC has gone for the jugular by choosing to first attack some of the exchanges working towards full compliance, including Coinbase, Kraken, Paxo, and now Binance. And we know the story with Ripple as well, right? So it's just, and they've sued many, many other people, right? We can see that with their fines, that they've taken in billions and billions of dollars of fines in the last year, and they're trying to take in more fines this year, right? They're actually operating as a profit center, right? This article goes on, it needs to be absolutely clear that what is happening today with the US government and its enforcement agencies is that they are systematically attempting to put the entire cryptocurrency industry out of business. And I agree with that, actually. I do agree with that. As an industry that's for the people, it wants to provide innovation and wealth-making means. It will enable everyone to be able to be their own bank and make their own financial system decisions outside of the banking system. But again, the SEC certainly and the Fed are in cahoots to bring the whole cryptocurrency industry down. This article goes on to say banks have become monstrous entities that seem to have more power than the governments now. They've become obsolete and no longer serve the people. I agree with this. Governments are printing more and more fiat currency, which is borne by the people in the form of inflation and reduced purchasing power. I love this article. I tell you, it's so spot on. Who wrote this article? I tell you, it's amazing article. It was printed by cryptodaily.co.uk, and it's basically SEC. Gensler is dedicated to bringing down crypto market. Amazing. Excuse me. So too much smoking, people. Don't smoke, please. So, this is incredible, right? Just killing people. And then this Twitter guy, Dan Held, which I agree with the guy, said total fines paid by the big banks in the last 10 years, literally 331 million. And he said, but I thought only Bitcoin was used for criminals. And I agree with the guy. Honestly, the banking system is for criminals. And you got to wonder why Gary Gensler is supporting the banking system, which is old technology. Absolutely old technology. It costs us so much in fees and everything else for currency transactions or anything. You even have to pay $5 for a bank account every month. And you got to wonder, right? You got to wonder what the hell is going on in the US. And this article goes on to say, a system such as this can do with a competitor right now. Banks are failing and the Federal Reserve just backs them with currency printed out of thin air. Interest rates are too high, unemployment is rising, and prices are going through the roof because of inflation, right? This article says it all. It says it all. It goes on to say it's up to a few to make a stand and resist the likes of Gensler. He talks about everything being a security and stated that he would like to see a middleman between any cryptocurrency project and their customers. I mean, he has even resorted to applying enforcement actions against developers who code, right? Who do coding, which is a joke. Developers of DeFi projects because he can't get the project himself. I mean, this is a fight between the government, the banks, global financial agencies, the enforcement agency on one side, and the crypto industry on another, right? I mean, this article is so spot on. It is so spot on. It's a joke, right? So the US Security Exchange basically has charged Binance with 13 charges, right, against Binance itself, the US conglomerate, and Changpeng Zhao. Now, Changpeng Zhao said he is vehemently going to fight the SEC, vehemently. The SEC has similarly added a number of new digital assets to the list that it deems as security, and there are now 61 digital assets the regulator has accused of being securities, right? It's just unbelievable. I got to tell you that. I just find this incredible. What's happening here? Every corporation that's connected to cryptocurrency, is just going to basically, put their hands up in frustration and just move out of cryptocurrency. It's very clear what they're going to do, right? Binance has sought to rebuke the SEC's allegations, vowing to defend itself vigorously, and this thing could go on for years and years and years, right? Years and years and years, right? There was another article which I thought was very, very good, and it's actually titled, "Gary Gensler is a national disgrace. It's time to rein him in. Gensler's latest actions demonstrate his continuing disregard for American investors, entrepreneurs, and interest and new technology," right? And cryptocurrency is new, amazing technology. Gary Gensler is the chair of the SEC, and he's not a popular man, that's for sure. The guy is just crazy. There's rumors that he is seeking Janet Yellen's role at Treasury. Corporate Capitol Hill suggests that he has absolutely no chance because he's not unpopular. He's very unpopular, and he has no idea about the working machinations of cryptocurrency technology, right? The question is, are they going to get rid of this guy or not? The SEC under Gensler has become a weapon for government luddites who fear the hegemony of the US dollar is under threat, right? It seems to be a bigger picture than what's going on here. I mean, digital assets are technology revolutions, right? And they bring levity to every investor and every cryptocurrency asset person out there because we can control our own finances, right? But, the Gensler thing, he's just stifling innovation and driving the best, brightest minds from the US to offshore, right? And this is causing the US a fortune, in terms of, what's happening. Everyone's moving offshore. The US was always an entrepreneurial country, and yet, people are moving to Europe, Middle East, and even other countries in the world like Asia, right? Millions of Americans invest in cryptocurrency, and yet the SEC has literally declared war on the cryptocurrency market, and it doesn't help any investor. And yet the SEC is supposed to be there looking after retail investors, right? Not only that, he uses a law, which is a very outdated law, to govern cryptocurrencies, and the law was literally passed 90 years ago. So it's an archaic law. This guy, I've got to tell you, has got no idea, right? No idea. And seriously, this guy was an unelected bureaucrat. He was put in by, President Biden. And it's just a joke what's happening here, right? It really is a joke. How can someone like this, dictate and regulate and sue everyone, when they have amazing cryptocurrency technology, and yet there was no proper regulation in place? Seriously, this is just mind-blowing. I got to tell you that. This article goes on to say Gary Gensler is damaging American innovation, American investors, and American interests, and he certainly is. He really, really is. And honestly, you just want to roll your eyes when you read this stuff, because just unbelievable, unbelievable. In a statement accompanying these charges, the SEC Chair Gary Gensler said, Chang Zhang Pao, CZ, Chang Pang Zhao and Binance misled investors about the risk controls and corrupted trading volumes while actively concealing who was the operating platform, the manipulative trading of its affiliate market maker, right? I mean, this is, I'm just rolling my eyes here. I can't believe this stuff. Seriously, I just can't. This is like effectively, as I said before, trying to regulate the internet, right? Even the SEC has used, the ex-CEOs of Binance US, Catherine Coley and Brian Brooks, and apparently they're cooperating with the investigation, right? Honestly, what else can one say here? The more I read this stuff, the more I want to scream fair income. But this thing will go on forever. I mean, you get caught in a law in the US, and it could take quite a long time to sort this out, right? Which is not great for anyone, and it's certainly not great for the market, given that Binance Exchange is the market. They do 50 to 80% of the trading volume in the market, right? And honestly, and now they're going after Coinbase and many else, right? Not only have the SEC, they weren't satisfied with suing Binance, they've mentioned specific coins like Solano, ADA, Matic, File, Atom, Sand, Mana, Algo, ASX, Coty as being investment contracts, and yet these coins are used for the technology. I mean, the guy's missing the point, seriously. And he's mentioned another 61 coins and tokens, right? And now, again, they're suing, the Coinbase as well. And Coinbase was always engaging with the SEC to get more, points on what the so-called regulation is, right? So it looks like the 7 key points from the SEC charged against Binance and Binance US. One is Binance and BUS are securities. This is what they're pretty much saying. They're saying that several third-party tokens are securities, and there's about 61 of them. SEC wants Zao and others enjoined, whatever that means. They're trying to get not only Zao, but other people that were doing business with him. They're saying that Binance evaded US regulation, but what is the regulation? Because no one understands it. And they're saying executives were aware of the situation with commingling of funds and offering unlicensed securities, which are part of technology. And they're saying that CZ-owned companies controlled US funds. I mean, also they're saying that wash trading was rampant. And wash trading is when it's not a real trade. But I mean, they've got to prove this stuff, right? They've got to prove this stuff. There's a lot of allegations there. And seriously, I mean, Binance said they will vigorously fight this case. And Binance have a lot of money to do that, right? And by that time, every innovation related to cryptocurrency will be literally, they would move out of the US, okay? I just cannot, when I read this stuff, I just cannot believe this. I mean, Gensler has got to go, and so is the SEC. They've got no idea of the cryptocurrency technology and what it does. There's many different cryptocurrency technologies, right? Whether it be supply chain management, whether it be incredible payment systems, whether it be decentralization, there's all different types of technologies, right? And this is just unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. So this is a huge story. The cryptocurrency market is going to be soft because of it. Not only, again, as I said, they sued Binance, but then they sued one day later Coinbase, okay? And, they're basically saying that Coinbase didn't do the right thing either. They violated the securities law because they're selling securities and not coins and tokens, which are a part of the mainnet infrastructure system of cryptocurrency. The SEC sues Coinbase for acting as an unregistered broker and basically not a registered broker as such, right? And, again, it just goes on and on and on, right? And, this is going to be tied up in court for years. It's just ridiculous, right? Not only that, Ripple's still fighting them as well. There's an expectation that they will win, and hopefully they do, and hopefully that will create a case precedent for everyone else that's fighting the SEC. Anyway, let's talk about Ripple. Ripple's groundbreaking CBDC development shines in the spotlight of American banker. Central banks in the world want digital currency, central bank digital currency, CBDC, and apparently American banker spotlight Ripple. American banker highlights Ripple's efforts in establishing a CBDC platform, facilitating the issuance of national stablecoins and digital currencies. A recent recognition by American Banker, which is a reputable Manhattan-based publication that covers the financial industry, shed light on Ripple's notable contributions towards the development of central bank digital currencies. They said the technology was amazing, it was incredibly innovative, could allow governments and financial institutions and central banks to issue their own national stablecoins and digital currencies in a speedy, efficient, secure way with very low transaction costs. And the Ripple's distributed ledger technology underpins the XRP token for global e-commerce transactions, now aims to foster interoperability amongst many digital currencies. I mean, Ripple's system is amazing. The technology is incredible. I've got to tell you that. Also, Ripple came out and said they want to integrate central bank digital currencies with DeFi. And their system can certainly do that, people. That's for sure. And then they've already got clients from overseas who are looking at, their central bank digital currency as well, the Republic of Palau, Montenegro, and a few other countries as well, right? Also, XRP Ledger smart contract hooks past third-party security audit, which is great. The basic smart contract functionality doubled XRPL hooks successfully underwent security audit by leading a third-party vendor to see if their smart contracts work properly, and they certainly do. Ripple's technology is amazing. They can transfer anything through smart contracts, and they will overtake Ethereum. They were out there the other day saying we will take over Ethereum, okay? Now, with all this Binance fiasco with the SEC, Binance, obviously a lot of people liquidated a lot of holdings from Binance yesterday, and we see that OKEx, Crypto.com, and Bybit benefited from Binance's outflow of crypto, right? Something like $778 million outflowed from Binance yesterday and went to the other exchanges, right? We see that basically on a 24-hour flow, it was something like more than 1.37 billion. 228 million went to OKEx, Bitfinex 884, about 60 million to Crypto.com, and Bybit another 60 million, and Deribit 692 million in flows, right, which is quite amazing. But it amazes me how an SEC chairman can dictate flows in crypto markets or in financial markets. It's just a joke, right? Just a joke. Now, also other news, Hedera enables tokenization of home equity, which sounds very interesting. A Quarter Inc. has announced the tokenization of home equity on Toko Asset Tokenization Engine, right? Which means that, if you have a house, you can tokenize the equity in your house, and someone else can buy that house, a part of that house, and you can actually leverage that through blockchain, which I think sounds very, very interesting. They're looking at a pilot, and it basically, is in competition with traditional mortgage credit, and someone else can own a portion of your house, which I think is a great idea, given that globally in the Western world there's a housing crisis at the moment, right? And a big one. So what an idea. Bybit boosts Middle East presence with blockchain, UAE blockchain scholarships. Bybit, as you know, moved to the Middle East. They're in Dubai now, and they're literally, increasing their education, moved out of the US and trying to expand a business in a very pro-cryptocurrency country, right? Which is the thing to do, because most people are just getting out of the US and going to the Middle East, going to Europe and everywhere else. Now, also, Tether makes history by replacing SWIFT for US dollar transfers, signaling the commencement of blockchain revolution. And they're using Zappo Bank. And I mentioned that yesterday. They're going to use their own cryptocurrency transaction technology to basically to get rid of SWIFT, which is an old clunky system from 1973, right? And again, Tether is fully compliant with the MiCA standards in Europe, markets and crypto assets, and they're basically moving out of Swiss and using a cryptocurrency technology bank that's using blockchain, right? It's a great story, okay? And this is going to improve anyone that does anything with Tether because they won't have to use the old clunky banks which charge you a fortune, and Swift, which also charges you a fortune. So it's a great story for Tether, absolutely. Coupled with that, because of all the regulation in the US, we do see people losing their jobs. Spotify got rid of a lot of people yesterday. Crypto hedge fund Arca is laying off another 30% of staff because of what's happening in crypto land in the US. It's very hard to grow in crypto because now the SEC has created a bear market. The regulatory environment is uncertain, and basically they got rid of 30% of their staff. And we're seeing that right across the board. If you look at technology, losses in jobs, it's been huge this year, and the Fed is not looking, or even the SEC, they don't seem to care about all the people that are losing their jobs, right? OKEX partners with Commonwealth, which is basically the custodian for the Nomura Bank, which is a very big bank in Japan, which is a great story for those guys. OKEX is doing very well. We bought OKEX very cheaply at $13 and it's at $14 at the moment. OKEX is a world-leading company, but it's an exchange, but it's looking at the future of Web3, and basically it's expanding wallets, its own wallets, DeFi, NFTs, games, and apps. So they're partnered with a lot of people out there. You know, Manchester City FX, football club, I should say, McLaren Formula One, Tribeca. They're incredibly committed to transparency and security, and they're publishing their proof of reserves on a monthly basis, which is great for them. Also, coupled with that, we see that Russia is now using crypto to avoid the sanctions in the US, which is fair enough, right? Russia's crypto use in the last couple of months has increased by 14% because they don't want to have to go through SWIFT in the US, which blocks their accounts, okay? Now, Russia and China are both making headways into crypto. They see it an opportunity with what's happening in the US, with the SEC and everything else, killing crypto, and it's their chance to be technology innovated and in front of the US, which is just certainly behind the curve. Also, we see a Japanese giant banking operation, MUFG, a very well-known bank, Mitsubishi UFG Financial Group, set up their own stable coin bank with bank deposits on their own blockchain, which is a great story for those guys. Excuse me. And, this is a big bank that's doing this now. We see a lot of this sort of thing happening in Japan as well. But look, overall, the stories today is all about Gensler. Everyone getting sued by Gensler, and seriously, something's got to change here because this guy is going to ruin the technology innovations of crypto that are bigger than the internet, seriously, and he is costing America a lot of money. Absolutely, it's a shocker, I've got to tell you that, an absolute shocker. He is certainly dedicated to bringing cryptocurrency markets down, and he's not protecting anyone, by the way. It's a shocker. Anyway, guys and girls, enjoy the day. We've got to finish on a good note. Enjoy the day. Get out in the sun. It's a lovely day today. And let's see what happens tomorrow. All so interesting in this cryptocurrency market. I've got to tell you that. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.